Welcome back to Fast with Me. I'm here with an update. So, officially, I completed day 2, if we're keeping track, right? And just here to check in and see how it went. Day 2 went pretty well. I did weigh myself again, just for the hell of it. And I'm at 370.5, so roughly about 2.5 pounds down. Again, this is something to take with a grain of salt because your weight will fluctuate as your body is adjusting. Once you get past days 2, probably into day 3, you'll start seeing some significant weight loss on the scale if you are tracking that. And you may even, leading up to that, to be perfectly honest, you just have to keep in mind that your weight will eventually level out, and it will have how many pounds it brings back, I'll put it that way, will be 100% determined by what you eat when you come off the fast, which is super critical. So just keep that in mind. If you want to keep to a significant weight loss, keep eating clean, stick as much as possible to low sugar, low carbs, because that's going to be what's going to unlock that for you and keep the weight going. So yesterday, like I said, it was pretty good. I didn't do any bone broth yesterday. So I bought these new fat bombs and I was really excited about them. They're supposed to be Danish butter cookies. The problem is they have ghee in them, and ghee is spelled Ghee. And for those of you who don't know, it's actually grass-fed butter. Like, I guess it's made from cows who are like grass-fed or whatever. But the bottom line is it's got dairy in it, and I can't have dairy. That's a story for another day. I didn't realize that. And what I noticed is that when I'm fasting, I'm much more sensitive to side effects. Typically, they take about 24 hours to settle, but because I don't have any food in my system, anything that is typically a toxin for my body will affect me that much faster. So I was sniffling all day yesterday, which I didn't really understand because I didn't feel like I should have had any detox symptoms by then. Or, yeah, sorry, I'm getting my timelines mixed up. The day before, I was doing a whole lot of sniffling and my nose was running and all of that, and into the evening, and I found out, I just did a check because I was like, let me double check, because I wasn't sure or 100% sure it was detox or something else. And since this was a new product, I thought I'd double check, and turns out it had ghee, which is dairy, which I cannot have, just in general. So just be mindful of labels. I always try to look for something that's vegan and gluten-free because those are my dietary restrictions. So just make sure that when you are taking a look or purchasing something that you're using throughout your fast or even outside of your fast, just make sure you're checking the label. I did not do my full due diligence and I missed that one ingredient, which really threw me for a loop. But anyway, other than that, yesterday was pretty good. I decided, and this is also something else you could try if you are really struggling. I wouldn't even call it like a full ounce of chicken breast. You can buy those. I'll try to put it like as an image, but it's basically clean, organic chicken breast that's already cooked. And it doesn't have any sugar, no added stuff to it. It's just, to me, seasoned, and you can just have it like nibble on that if you are struggling to get through parts of your day. And the fat bomb isn't cutting it. That's something else you can do because that will curb your hunger. Again, I'm not saying go eat a full bowl of chicken. I literally had 2 to 3 small pieces just to get me, I just needed something to get me through the day. So again, I'm showing y'all how I'm doing my fast. I'm not sitting here trying to say that it's all perfect and you're gonna do this floating on air and everything's gonna be perfect. This is 100% transparent, unvarnished. This is how my fast went. So I did have 2 to 3 pieces of chicken about midday, and again later on in the evening. And I probably wouldn't have had to, if I'm being honest, if I just had some bone broth. And I just didn't. I don't have any specific reason other than it was a crazy day, and I'm so extra when I fix my bone broth. It's a whole production because I put Typically I put MCT oil in it, and then I usually like to put like a splash of coconut milk and full fat. So to be clear, is actually unsweetened coconut cream. And I think you can do the same, like unsweetened coconut milk, but just make sure it's unsweetened. It doesn't have any additives because you don't want to add carbs in there without realizing. So I didn't feel like doing all that, like fixing all of that. It doesn't take like hours, it takes 10 or so minutes, but yesterday was busy for me. So I just grabbed a couple of pieces of chicken and got me through the day. At the end of the day, I ended up having some tea, sleepy time tea, to just get me some sleep and try to wind myself down. I'm still struggling, to be honest with you, and I think this must be a fasting thing. I have a harder time drifting off naturally. I'm more wired, and Dr. Pelz does say that this is one of the effects of it. You may find yourself having more energy or you're not as sleepy. I'm definitely in that camp. So ZzzQuil to the rescue. I had some ZzzQuil, and that definitely helped to drift me off. So overall, I think yesterday was pretty good. This morning, just to give y'all an update, I exercised, which I'm really glad about because I've been meaning to do that. And yeah, I've been doing the sauna, but I legit exercise. So I did some squats and I did the OxFit, which, if you don't know, you can look it up online. It's like basically like a home gym, and it has like weights, resistance you can add and all that. So I did some weights, and right after that, I did that only for 10 minutes. You got to just tear yourself up and listen to your body. So right after that, I did the sauna for an hour. So I'm feeling really good right now in terms of myself and feeling like I started my day on the right foot. So as you're feeling like you're hitting your stride, that's something to keep in mind or to think about. You're going to want to start incorporating some form of exercise in there. Even if all you do is the sauna, that still helps. But if you can, try to do some type of resistance training sometime throughout your fast, especially, but even after your fast, you should definitely just be doing that. So I did do that. One other thing that I wanted to mention to you guys that I discovered quite inadvertently is a really positive benefit of this fast, and which is why my goal is to cut out sugar as much as possible by the end of the year, if not completely eliminate it. So I have very bad arthritis, pretty much everywhere, but especially in my knee joints. And obviously the thing that doctors always tell you is you got to lose the weight, which is, if I could be more mobile, I could exercise to lose the weight. Catch-22. I have been obviously trying to do some strength training. I've been swimming, and I try to do the elliptical as much as I can tolerate it, but that obviously takes a while to work up to because it is pretty painful for me. So one of the things I was really having a hard time with is when I would sit for more than 10 minutes at a time, the amount of pain I would feel to get up from the chair was horrific. And I would have to literally get up in stages just to ease out of the seated position. And I don't know when it happened, but I know it definitely didn't happen before I started fasting, really fasting the way I have. I noticed the last fast, and this one in particular, when I get out of the chair, it didn't hurt. And I didn't catch it or clock it till day one, where I was, because I noticed that I was just getting up and just going about my day. And so your brain almost tells you like, wait a minute, what just happened? And what I noticed is the pain levels in my joints have dramatically decreased. And I do 100% attribute that to my significant decrease in sugar. And you have to think about this. It doesn't just have to be that you're just pouring sugar down your gullet. Nobody does sugar that way. It could be in the stuff you drink. It could be in the stuff you eat. And then remember that carbs are also broken down to sugars. So it's the decrease and just overall reduction of my sugar intake, 100% know that this is what's helping my joints, because as you may or may not know, sugar is one of the worst offenders when it comes to increasing inflammation in your body. And arthritis is an inflammation disease. And so when you think about that and think about how much inflammation contributes to arthritis, it makes sense that with my decrease in sugar, suddenly my body is much more efficient and my pain levels have substantially decreased. So that has been a huge win for me. If you have arthritis symptoms, and I have not researched this, I just know this from things that I've learned over the years and from what my doctor shared with me. If you have arthritis pain or joint pain, I would really think about fasting for a couple of days. And again, fasting could look different from you. Maybe to start, you just fast from carbs. You can just decide you're only gonna eat protein. And if you're a vegan, obviously you're gonna have to find what works for you, but maybe focus on having 0 carb meals, meaning that you're only having protein, maybe really dark leafy greens because they're also high in protein and low in carbs. But really think about that, because that is, to me, the biggest selling point of doing this fast is my pain levels have drastically decreased. And I didn't even notice when it happened until my second round of fasting. So really think about doing something like that. I personally would recommend, if you've done fasting before, try to just cut back significantly and cut it down and just give your gut a reset and just give your body a break from the onslaught of sugar and carbs and refined foods and processed foods. Just give your body a break and a rest from all of that and see how you feel. Today is technically my last day of my fast, but actually, no, because remember I told you guys I was going to fast for 48 hours. I just remembered. So technically, I should be breaking my fast today. I don't know that I'm going to. I think I'm going to keep going. I think I'm going to break my fast on Saturday, and it's something I've been thinking about off and on, to be honest, since I started my fast on Tuesday. I do think I'm going to keep going until Saturday. So if you want to join me, you still have time. We can fast together tomorrow. So fast with me tomorrow or start later today. I'll try to post some content in the community chat. Definitely feel free to message me too. I don't know if it's like something you can initiate, but I'll try to be a little bit more present on the community chat on YouTube. So yeah, I really wanted to hear that with you, because that was like the most exciting thing I found. Aside from the weight loss, the pain levels really have improved, and that I'm super excited about. Just a really quick update. This is actually going into day 3. I have decided to continue fasting, and I'll let you guys know how I'm doing. I will try to check back later today. I meant to do that yesterday, and honestly the day got away from me. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, any questions you might have. I'm happy to answer them. Don't be shy. We're doing this together. I'm learning as I go, and I'm learning a lot of exciting things. So I'm definitely excited to keep this going. So yeah, this is going to be day 3 of fast number 2. I think I'm going to go to officially, I guess it'll be day 4, because unless I decide to break my fast on Sunday, we'll see. I'm probably going to break it Saturday, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm probably going to break it Saturday. More because it's simpler, because Sundays is my day with hubby. So I'll probably break it sometime on Saturday. So I'll let you guys know how I'm doing. I'll check back in a little bit later today. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a quick update of how things are going. All right. So got to get ready for my day. Questions, comments, please like, share, and subscribe to this post. I always need to start that at the beginning, but please do like, share, and subscribe. Support a sister. It costs you nothing, and it takes you less than 30 seconds. All right. So I'll catch y'all again a little bit later. Until next time, take care.